All right, welcome to Technical Analysis 101, okay? Like what we're gonna be talking about today is technical analysis, mapping out levels on a chart. Now, I feel like I have to set this up a little bit. You'll often hear technical analysis and fundamental analysis. So just to kind of set the stage, when we think of fundamental analysis, we're talking about the business, for lack of a better term, okay? That is the sales, the profitability, cash flow, debt to income, profit margins, etc. Like all of the stuff that you would learn about in a business class. That's fundamental analysis. Now, the reason we use technical analysis so much, especially in day trading and swing trading, basically short-term trading, and this is important for newer traders to understand that when we're talking about short-term trading, almost all of these stocks are disconnected from the fundamentals. And it's so key, and it's something that trips up so many newer traders is they'll see unprofitable companies typically be the biggest runners, like with these biotechs and low float stocks that move 20, 30, 40, 50, 500%. You can dig into the fundamentals, or not even dig. You can just quickly look at the fundamentals and be like, where's the sales? Where's the profits? Look at this billions of dollars of debt. This company is a disaster, and the stock was gapping up 20% in pre, and now it's up 200%, and I didn't trade this stock because I looked at the fundamentals. So the reason, that is the core reason that we use technical analysis so much, is because we're trying to recognize the psychology of the mania, all right? And I'll probably repeat this several times during this video, but you have to understand, if you're day trading or swing trading, and swing trading is very similar to day trading, it's just a couple days and weeks versus minutes in day trading, okay? Like maybe hours in day trading. It's the same disconnect from reality, it's the same chart patterns. Swing trading just takes a few days or weeks longer, and very part-time trader friendly. When it comes to mentoring newer traders, especially if they're very busy with their day job, I always push them towards swing trading because it can be difficult to manage the moves in day trades. Now, if you got your phone, if you don't have a boss breathing down your neck, day trading is where it's at, because you can be in and out in a matter of minutes for huge gains. But both of them are heavily dependent on technical analysis, because the fact that the fundamentals in the short term don't matter. They will eventually matter, okay? The proverbial chickens will come home to roost at some point, but if you constantly focus on the fundamentals, you'll miss every big day trade, every one of them. Well, 99.9% of them. About once or twice a year, we have an epic, 100, 200, 300% runner that actually has a good business, okay, maybe once a year. So you'll end up missing all of these moves because you focus too much on the fundamentals. So that being said, we're going to look at technicals, and I'm going to talk about a stock that actually was a beautiful morning breakout and then a continuation play back-to-back days, basically, and that is ARDX. So what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to start with yesterday and focus on that dip and rip pattern. And when we talk about, supply and demand and irrational exuberance and emotional points. So if you go back to yesterday morning, ARDX was gapping up big. It was on our radar because it had gapped up from $6 to basically $7 in pre-market. Looks like it topped at $6.89. So basically gapped up from $6 to, for all intents and purposes, $7. So I'm going to zoom in on yesterday. And then you'll see this lighter gray area, that's pre-market. So that's from 4 a.m. to 9:30 Eastern. Then the black area on my chart is 9:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern, the market day. And then you kind of go into this lighter gray area, that's after hours. So from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. NASDAQ stocks trade from, and NYSE stocks trade from 4 a.m. up till 8 p.m. So what we look for that morning pattern, and ARDX was a beauty, is that dip and rip pattern. So we look for those big gainers that pull back at the market open and then retest the high of the day. And you can see that. So you got your gap from 6 to 7. Look at this fade. I mean, total washout, very weak price action into the market open. And right there, you can see it bottoms, then reclaims the high of the day in those 670s and 680s. And this is the key I want you to focus on. Highest volume candle of the day and biggest candle of the day. Okay, that is proof that this technical pattern works over and over again. Look at the size of that candle relative to literally every candle the rest of the day, the entire trading day. And understand, this stock went all the way higher. I mean, it closed at the high of the day, but this is so key. That is your confirmation that you have a dip and rip and you have a technical pattern breaking out. So it goes from 670 to immediately 7 plus, grinds higher all day to 8 plus. Now, this is what's great about these charts that are breaking out. Now, I want you to notice it is not a coincidence. People will say it is a coincidence. It is not. Notice what lines up in those 670s and 680s. 52-week breakout going back to about a month ago. So let me zoom back out. Right there's the 52-week breakout from late December. Stopped, hit that point, pulled back. Notice also the same corresponding technical level from that morning dip and rip, and that is not a coincidence. That's why it was one of our number one stocks yesterday morning. And the reason is, when you think of that failure to break out in late December, big candle the next day. I mean, look at that big candle. It went from 670s all the way down to $6. So everybody that held through that pullback, which they got rewarded, probably not the smartest move, but they did get rewarded. So once it flips in those 670s and 680s on the intraday chart, so we're talking the daily chart here, 1 year, 1 day chart, once it hits both a 52-week breakout and a high a day, that is why you got that parabolic candle, because think about the psychology. Remember, we're disconnected from reality with this biotech. It's all hopes and dreams, okay? So everyone that held during that failed breakout is now in the money. They're all green. And think about it. Everyone that has bought this stock in the last year is green at this point. That is why you saw that huge candle, because everybody's happy. Everybody's adding to winner. Breakout buyers are buying the stock. Everyone's in it at that point. Hence the reason you can see that reflected on the intraday chart with that huge, almost $1 candle. Now, that's the morning pattern. The beauty is when you have these technical breakouts like this that trend higher and hold VWAP, we can target those for afternoon breakouts as well. So here's a noon webinar. I do a webinar every single trading day at 8:30 Eastern and noon Eastern. If you're interested in those, I'll mention at the end of the video. But if you're interested right now, every single day, 8:30 Eastern and noon Eastern, only for members, there's a link below. They'll say, check out the Daily Income Trader System. It'll be a link, okay? You can hit that, get on a free tour of what I do every single day. But the point is, this is the noon webinar yesterday. ARDX was the number one stock. We only go over one stock per webinar because I want you to focus on the best trading opportunities. So you can see, I said it right here. The entry signal is a break of today's major resistance level at 775, which was the intraday failed breakout area after that big dip and rip through the morning. Then I said stop on 750 and a goal into the high 8s. This is at noon yesterday, okay? That would have been right here. So you can see it keeps trying to butt up at 775, 775. Couldn't break. Finally broke that about 5 minutes after the start of the webinar. And you can see it ground all the way up to 8 plus, closed at the high, and then most importantly, gapped up this morning, pushed up to a new 52-week high at 9, kissing the goal and then some. I mean, the goal was high 8s. It hit 9. It's currently still at 893. And this is what's crazy. It's 2 p.m. right now, 2 p.m. Eastern. If this stock stays above VWAP, it's the number one continuation play, as we say, into the next week. And all of these things or into tomorrow, all of these things were determined by lining up multiple time frames, okay? And that is so key. And this is Technical Analysis 101. There's only so much I can pack into a 10-minute video. But the reason you're constantly looking for time frame alignment is you're looking for those emotional points on stocks that are disconnected from reality. We love stocks that are disconnected from reality because they move like ARDX, okay? And ARDX is kind of tame, really. We get a lot of these biotechs that break out on multiple time frames, and you're not talking $6 to $9 in 24 hours. Not bad. You're talking $6 to $60. I mean, we've seen that in these biotechs. But the nice thing about ARDX, also swing trade compatible, as we talked about. You can day trade, you can swing it, you can hold it. Great way to line up those trend lines and take advantage of a company with very poor fundamentals, very poor zero profits, losing money, poor sales, a management staff that, this company is run by morons, allegedly. It's a penny stock after all. But the point is, you can, by using multiple time frame alignment, using technical analysis, you can pinpoint entries going back to yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon, and actually this afternoon. I mean, obviously this video is recorded, but you can check on ARDX and see what it did on January 9th and January 10th. If this thing continues to trend like it is, there's a very high likelihood it gaps up tomorrow and continues on into next week for an epic day trade and swing trade. So if anything I discussed, any of the technicals or fundamentals or levels on a chart or any jargon, it's all answered in that tour of the Daily Income Trader system. You hit that link below, 100% free, multiple times a day, 100% live. You see a tour of what we do every single day and how to trade the most volatile stocks with the best entries, exits, stop losses, and goals every single trading day. Check out that webinar.